Hello and welcome to our video series on the existence of God, where we explore questions and topics related to God's existence and also analyze arguments for and against the existence of God. Let me begin today's segment by asking you a question. Have you ever considered a godless world would truly imply? Can anything hold real value in such a world? The answer, I believe, is no. Without God, life lacks ultimate value or worth. Just think about it. If death is the final end, then it ultimately makes no difference whether someone lived virtuously or horrifically. If our final destiny is disconnected from how we live, there's very little reason not to simply do whatever we want. As the Russian novelist Dostoyevsky famously said, and I quote, "If there is no immortality, then all things are permitted," end quote. In that context, selfishness seems entirely rational. Why sacrifice for others when life is so short and offers no eternal consequences? Living self-indulgently becomes not just acceptable, but arguably the most logical choice. But the problem goes deeper. Even if we set aside the question of an afterlife, the absence of God eliminates any objective foundation for morality. As we saw in episode 4 of this video series, right and wrong would then be nothing more than just personal preferences or social constructs, a construct shaped by biology and culture. Without a divine moral authority, who determines whether an action is good or evil? On what basis can we say that the values of a rapist are worse than those of a saint? In a godless universe, moral terms lose all objective meaning. Richard Taylor, an atheistic ethicist, points out, and I quote, "To say that something is wrong because it is forbidden by God is perfectly understandable to anyone who believes in a law-giving God. But to say that something is wrong even though no God exists to forbid it is not understandable. The concept of moral obligation is unintelligible apart from the idea of God. The words remain, but their meaning is gone," end quote. Likewise, in a world without God, condemning injustice, war, or oppression becomes a matter of personal or cultural opinion, not objective truth. Also, ideals like love, justice, and equality cannot be universally praised as good. Good and evil in this context are simply illusions. Now, this leads to a striking inconsistency among many atheists. They often uphold values such as compassion and justice and love while denying the objective basis for those values. British philosopher Bertrand Russell, though an atheist, was a vocal critic of war and social injustice. Yet he admitted he couldn't live as though ethics were purely subjective, and he found his own position hard to believe. And he said, I quote, "I do not know the solution," end quote, he confessed in a 1957 letter to The Observer. Another troubling implication of a godless worldview is the lack of justice. If there is no God and no afterlife, then the wicked may never be held accountable, and the righteous may never be rewarded. How can anyone live with that? Richard Ubrand, a Christian who endured brutal torture in communist prisons, shared how his tormentors would often justify their cruelty by declaring, and I quote, "There is no God, no afterlife, no punishment, we can do as we please," end quote. One even mocked the idea of God while celebrating the opportunity to unleash his darkest impulses. Ultimately, the key point is this: without God, life lacks both intrinsic value and moral grounding. There would be no solid reason to believe in objective right or wrong, nor any ultimate justice in the world. Think about this long and hard. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and enjoy content such as this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share it around. See you in the next episode. God bless you.